I hate my internet. I hate my internet, guys. But we are live. Buckeye Nation, what's going on? Hate my internet a lot. All right. So, Ohio State, Penn State, we got going. What a weekend, man. You were there in attendance, live in Beaver Stadium, rocking throughout, I heard, throughout the game. Electric atmosphere because it was close the whole game. Penn State was never out of it. Ohio State was never out of it. Man, what a game. Tell me about your experience in Beaver Stadium in that environment, bro.
Dude, it was nice to get there. It was nice to get there early. My wife and I, we were lower level. Again, it was good to get there early so I could get like really close to the sideline. We saw the college game day crew walk by. Kirk Herbstreit, Pat McAfee. Lee Corso walked by. Someone yelled at him, Cindy at him when he picked Ohio State. I thought that was really rude.
Jeez.
And
Who?
Lee Corso. Somebody yelled an obscenity at Lee Corso.
Oh, come on, dude. I'd be pissed.
Yeah. I also thought that I also saw.
Tell me that was a Penn State fan that did that, not an Ohio State fan.
I don't know. But I also saw, did I say Kirk Herbstreit? Yeah, I saw Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard. Nick Saban walked by as well. That's who I meant to say. Nick Saban walked by.
Undisputed GOAT.
But next to me, I saw the Fox camera, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe over there the Big Ten crew is gonna. But no. So the last time I went to Happy Valley was Penn State versus Michigan. The Big Ten noon crew was at the upper level. They were at the upper level by the concessions and stuff. So, but it was nice to get down there, be able to get a video in for the TikTok and our channel. So that was
awesome,
great.
Man. You did great too. It was loud though. It was loud in there, nonstop.
It wasn't as loud as when the fans got there. I mean, so the attendance was like
record
over 110,000.
It was a record. It was over 111,000 for the first time ever.
Yeah, over 111,000. So it was loud the entire game.
Rob, you were a part of a record-setting crowd. That was the biggest crowd ever.
Yeah,
in Beaver Stadium ever.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it was 3 versus 4. Undefeated versus 1 loss, a lot on the line, Big Ten championship hopes, college football playoffs hopes, you name it. But it was loud pretty much the whole game and it was close. Penn State went down early, kicked a field goal. Will Howard threw his pick 6, but he responded really well after that. I mean, they scored 14 unanswered. And, dude, that one pick 6 by Igbinosa before halftime. Yeah, Igbinosa, that was electric. I mean, at first, I'm like, oh, man, it was a touchdown.
And they celebrated.
It was a touchdown, and then, everyone celebrated it, and then, the ref said it was incomplete. But then they went to review it. I'm like, are they really going to review if this is a touchdown catch? And then I saw on the big screen that Igbinosa intercepted it. The ball bobbled away from the Penn State wide receiver. Igbinosa secured it, got a foot in, and then they go into halftime. But what I really liked what I saw was Ohio State establishing the run game. And that was one of my keys for them to win. Establish the run game, and they put up over like pretty much 188 rush yards. I think it was like 3 or 4 yards per carry. Henderson was key. Junkins was key. Will Howard got some runs in there, even though he really needs to protect the ball more. He cost this game could have been worse. He cost Ohio State a touchdown.
Yeah. Not even him. If you saw the replay, that was one heck of a defensive play.
Yeah, that was.
And he had it tucked right here, and he still punched it out.
Yeah, and I was I was hoping that when it got fumbled, the ball would have went out on the side and not through the
Did you see the
end
highlight
zone.
after the game or no?
No, I didn't. I mean, you get to
It
see
was clear. It was
you get
clear.
you get to see every replay on the big
Yeah.
screen. But, another big play that I liked seeing was the goal line stand of Ohio State's defense, but, James Franklin lost in the most James Franklin way, running up the middle 3 times, and let's try to fool him with a predictable pass.
On
They
fourth
blew that
down.
game. So Hold
on. I'd like to say something real quick about that.
Yeah.
James Franklined again, bro. A freaking again. He James Franklin himself. You know where they really lost the game? At the end of the first half. You know why? They had a minute. They were on our 35-yard line. They had a minute on the clock. They didn't call a timeout despite having 3 of them. They burned the clock on themselves, for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. It was first down. I don't know what he was thinking. You had 3 timeouts. You have a minute on the clock. Are you literally just playing for a field goal? Because it sure looked like it. And that's freaking hilarious to me, bro.
Yeah, I
And they
don't.
didn't even get a field goal.
Yeah, they. Yeah, I was wondering that too. They pretty much had all their timeouts before that too. So, but another thing, a key for Penn State, can't settle for field goals. They settled for 3, got denied at the goal line, and their only touchdown was a pick six, a clear telegraph pass by Will Howard. So it was really bad. I think the excuses for James Franklin are over. I know last season,
Yeah.
after the performance against Ohio State, then Michigan was the nail in the coffin for offensive coordinator. Now that the offensive coordinator is gone, it's pretty much the same thing against Ohio State. In the last 2 games, they put up, I think, 18 points in the last 2 games, barely anything on offense. I'm sorry, but all eyes point to James Franklin now. There's no more
Well,
excuses. James Franklin is not going to take this Penn State team to the next level. The last time he beat Ohio State was 2016, and until they find another coach who can actually meet the challenge, maybe, Kirk Signetti, we'll see what happens with that. But
yeah, right.
it's just not gonna happen.
It's
Um,
not going to happen, bro.
yeah. Another thing I want to point at is when he was leaving the field, all these Penn State fans were saying fire Franklin.
Fire Franklin.
It was kind of funny, actually. He got into it with a fan I saw later on.
I
He's
heard
like,
that.
if you're a man, give me your name. I'm just like, no, I'm not, I'm telling you that you suck and you need to be fired. I don't know. All I'm saying is, like, yeah, your
Please.
defense is still really good. Tom Allen's a good defensive coordinator. But you can't blame the offensive coordinator. You fired your last one. Like, his play calling was terrible. It was awful. I just, it's like he's a worse version of Ryan Day in the big games.
Oh, way worse version. Not even comparable or in the same atmosphere.
But
Ryan Day is 3-6. He is 1-13, bro. That's not the same universe.
and you know what? All the Michigan fans out there, or Penn State fans, or any fans who are blaming officiating, this was an officiating crew that officiated in the couple last national championship games, and there are a lot of things that reviewable, and they went both ways, like the fumble out of the touchback fumble, and then the interception out of the back of the
Yeah.
end zone before halftime. There were just
Yeah, of course.
a lot of things went to review. Each team got a fair shake. Like, enough with blaming officiating. Blame James Franklin for his poor coaching performance in this game. Because again, can't settle for field goals. They settled for field goals. They did not get it done in the red zone, and that is why Ohio State has the 10th ranked red zone defense in the country. But another thing I want to point out is the offensive players of the game were the offensive linemen. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was Donovan Jackson who said, we just had to let our nuts drop, like put our balls
Great
on the
quote, right?
table, put our
When
balls on the table and get things going.
when Ohio State, excuse me, when Will Howard turned the ball over and Penn State, excuse me, I'm having trouble speaking, and Penn State got the interception, Igbinosin got the interception in the end zone. I said, I think our balls just dropped to my dad. That's what I said. That's what I said. And then he comes out with that quote. That's awesome to me. But
Yeah, another thing that I like seeing, and this is a prediction that I made. One of the things that Ryan Day has to change is getting gutsy in the big games. He went for it a couple times in fourth down again. I think he went like 2 times, converted.
I think you're right.
That's huge. He's never done it this much before. He did against Oregon. He did against Penn State because he knows what's on the line.
Is that Chip Kelly or Ryan Day?
He's willing to take those chances. I think I'm going to give credit to Ryan Day.
Really?
He knows what's on the line. He knows
Yeah, he does. He does.
knows how big the season is. He knows what changes he needs to make. And he didn't have that he didn't have that oh shoot look on his face at any point of the game.
At any point, even on the TV, I can confirm he never had that look. He found a backbone somewhere.
Yeah. But the defensive player of the game, which I saw, so Caleb Downs made a lot of shoestring saving tackles. Like, it could have, like, a lot of some of those runs or catches, they could have been a lot longer, but
Is
because
he
of
your
his
buck of the
tackling,
week?
I'll get to that. But because of his tackling and his quickness to get to the ball, he was able to save a lot more yards on the field. So,
Okay.
but my my buck of the week, which wasn't mentioned, it's going to be Will Howard because of his
For offense, yeah.
Yeah, he responded really well after that pick six. He led them down. They got down the field. He had that pass to Emeka Buka for a touchdown, responded really well. And then he got that touchdown pass to Brandon Innes. So, 14 unanswered points going into halftime, 14-10. So
In the teeth of that noise, right?
yeah, good job in his part. And he also got that game sealing first down. So good job him. My buck of the week on defense. I have two. Igbinosin for that heads up, being aware of the ball and sticking with it till the end, interception at the going to halftime that saved a field goal or even a touchdown. And Caleb Downs, I mean, I witnessed this in person. He made a lot of great tackles, a lot of shoestring tackles where some of the wide receivers and running backs could have got a lot more yards. So hats off to him.
Respect. I like the choices. JJ Smith is my offensive buck of the week. Could be Quinshon, could be any number of players. Emeka had the first touchdown to. Hey, listen, man. Emeka delivers every big game. Every big game in his Buckeye career, he scores a touchdown or two or three. Georgia, Notre Dame twice. Michigan, every game he scored a touchdown. Every time he's played Michigan, all 3 years. Penn State, every year he scored a touchdown. Emeka is clutch. He's a big game baller, and he's going to be a great NFL receiver. So I don't pick Emeka. I do pick JJ. I can see why people go Will. I can see why people go Quinshon, but I go with JJ.
You go with J.J. Smith.
Absolutely. He made a lot of key catches on third downs.
Gotcha. Yeah, he
Defensively, Cody Simon. Since you went with Downs, I can't pick Downs. I'll go with Cody Simon.
yeah.
Mr. Ohio, Block O.
I think that they finally have it right at linebacker. I mean, dude, Tommy Hitman Eichenberg and Steel Chambers, they were good, but
Very good.
they're very good run stuffers, but they're not very versatile like Simon and Styles are. So
You
that's
freaking nailed that.
that's a big difference. So
Big difference. Styles has speed, right? Agility, fluid hips.
yeah. So I was on, and this is still about the Penn State Ohio State game.
Oh,
I
wow.
I was on. Well, I wasn't like called in.
Oh, you should call in.
I, I mean, I couldn't find the number to the was it Johnny Oden show?
Oh, Johnny Olden. Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Olden. And they were talking about how, oh, you can't really look at this offensive line performance for Ohio State as a determining factor that the offensive line is back. And I'm thinking, like,
What?
what do you want to call it then? This is not a fluke. This is going to be the starting offensive lineman, and it needed to happen. Dude, I told you guys that the best move right now is to look at your depth at guard, move Jackson out to left tackle, and insert a guard. You know, Hinsman is the guard that they need so desperately. Like, we haven't seen him
Yeah,
all season. They're like, you know what? We need you. I mean, I don't. I mean, you say he quietly got suspended, but
I think so.
yeah,
I still
but
think so, actually.
apparently, apparently that's not the case anymore, and he's back and he's gonna stay there.
Maybe it was
Mahalski's out. He's not seeing the field anymore. He's done.
anymore. He's done
Done.
so. I think.
Done.
Hinsman could have gotten a 6-game suspension. Yeah, for sure. But he's back and he's a good player. Is he not?
Oh yeah, I think this is a game changer.
I do too.
And again, they have a lot of they have a lot of depth at guard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they finally did it.
That was good analysis on your part. You nailed that. I thought they would do that too. I was hoping they would do that. I wasn't sure they were going to do that. You were pretty confident. I wasn't confident that they'd make the right move. But
I mean,
then again, I couldn't listen to any Ohio State podcast all week, so I didn't hear anything about Nebraska. I didn't hear anything about Penn State. So I didn't know what to expect. In all fairness to me.
I mean, if you look at Mahalski, it is what it is with him, and that's what you're gonna get.
Well, he's injured too, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but still, even if he wasn't, I think this is what need to happen.
Yeah, amen.
I mean, I hope Mahalski recovers, but actually, I'm not gonna say that. I hope Mahalski. I hope Mikulski recovers, but that
here's the thing.
that switch to guard to tackle and inserting another guard, it need to happen.
You say this all the time, bro. Some players, it's a reality. Some, it's a dream. For him, it was both because he's a 5-year player at Ohio State, Mikulski. He's been in our program for 5 or 6 years. He's not good enough to start. I'm sorry. It's not for everybody. Ohio State's not for everybody.
I mean, it was just like, so looking at that Oregon game is like, okay, they had no choice but to insert him. But after 2 weeks of practice and that display of play at left tackle, it was clear that he's just not the guy for the job.
He's not the guy for the job. Jackson plays left tackle the rest of the season, you say? Clearly.
Yeah, I think Jackson. I mean, dude, it works. They got 188 yards against then ranked number 10. Actually, wait, I have the stats.
Nice.
I have the stats right here. Their rush defense was 8th in the country, only giving up 93.0 yards per game.
Dang, bro.
They gave up 188 this game. That is huge. You know what? Any fan needs to stop downplaying this. We're tired of the hate. We're tired of not getting the credit. This is a little bit, Michigan-esque of last season. Well, you know what? Ohio State beat Penn State. Penn State's overrated. They didn't deserve to be 3. It's very, I'm saying that because I was guilty of it last season.
Really?
I was. Yeah,
For
I was.
who?
I thought Michigan was not going to be Penn State.
Oh.
And then I'm just like, well, they're overrated. And just like I can see to Michigan fans that they're not ready to admit that Ohio State is still a great football program. And I don't mean great by, they don't win the national championship every year, but I mean great because they've been in the picture for so long. They're the most consistent, relevant team in all of college football, and there's no way around it. There's none. And if you say otherwise, you don't know ball, and that's it.
Period. You don't know ball if you think Ohio State sucks. And if you don't think Ohio State's going to run the table, I'm sorry to inform you, Michigan faithful, Ohio State's running the table in the Big Ten.
I mean, I'm not going to call my shot.
Rob, why do you refuse to talk about Michigan like they suck?
I'm not ready to call my shot, dude. One game at a time, man. I said
okay, let's talk Purdue then.
I said
nobody cares.
I said they needed that loss against Oregon, but the rest of the season to get to where they need to be, it's not going to be pretty.
You called it 11-1 preseason. Call your shot, bro. Shoot your shot.
I'm not going to predict the final score of the Michigan-Ohio State. Dude,
I don't need a score. I need will Ohio State lose.
I don't like, dude, I've never.
Michigan's going to get their ass whooped by
I've never, dude.
I'll say it. If you won't say it, I'll say it with my chest, dog.
I respect the rivalry.
You think I don't respect it? I live in Ann Arbor, dog. I went to Oregon, Michigan with an Ohio State jersey on, dog.
I'm not, dude. I am not going to.
I don't respect them.
I'm not going to make a big score prediction. It's always going to be close. It is the game, the biggest rivalry in all of college football. Do not disrespect this rivalry, man.
No, I'll disrespect that all I want. The best team wins every single year. Tell me a year in 25 seasons where the best team didn't win. 2004, that was the last time. 2004 was the last time the best team didn't win the football game. 20 years ago, Ohio State steamrolls Michigan in Ohio Stadium, the Snake Pit, 56-3.
All right, man. I'm just not ready. You know what? Come the Pigskin Pick'em show with
you better have a score prediction on that show, dog.
I'll definitely make a score prediction for that. I definitely will. But I got to think.
I won't press the issue. But just know every week I will call out Michigan for sucking at football.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Michigan. I was at this game in an Ohio State jersey, by the way, in the second half. There was a female in my section who was wearing a scarlet Ohio State hoodie. I said, if she can do it, Peter Andrew, who's 6'5", 280, can do it also. So I did. I got growled at, literally, by the guy next to me. He growled at me in his drunken stupor. I said nothing the whole game to him. I was asked if I was a Connor Stallion spy for Ohio State. I said yes. Got a great laugh because I recorded at least 25 to 35 plays. And that got a great laugh from a group of reasonable Michigan fans. The guy next to me chose to stare me down for 5 solid seconds. Did not make eye contact with him, of course. And then I moved sections.
It was that empty where you were able to move sections?
Dude, you saw the video? I was in the third row, bro.
Yeah, you were, dude. What row did you start off in?
78.
Dude, you were able to move down that much and probably nobody cared at
No one
all.
stopped me, bro. The stadium was empty, homie.
But at what time was it empty? By what quarter?
About fourth quarter. Okay, student section left at halftime.
Are you serious? They
A,
all left
a,
at
a
halftime?
third, a third of the student section left at halftime.
Oh Lord.
A third. After the Loveland overturn, everybody, the entire stadium, except for green clad fans, left. After Loveland's catch got overturned, the stadium emptied. I don't know the timestamp for that. There was like 8 minutes left, I think, 9, 10, 11 minutes, maybe something like that. They left in the fourth quarter.
Wait, are you talking about that play that Moore should have never challenged in the first place?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, wait, so I thought it was ruled that he didn't catch it and Moore
Yeah, and
challenged it
then
when it clearly wasn't a catch.
right, and then when it was overturned and Michigan punted, the whole stadium emptied.
Yeah, man. I mean,
After
like,
some
dude,
vitriol, bro, there was some anger in that stadium, bro.
what were you hearing?
Anger. I heard F you. We're going to beat your A referees. We're going to beat you up outside referees. It's on video.
Yeah.
I'll send you the video. I won't post it to YouTube.
But here's the thing. That was blatantly not a catch. I don't understand that. Unless they're frustrated.
They're frustrated with Michigan.
Season.
Yes.
Dude, I'm hearing a lot of fire Kirk Campbell, fire Wink Martindale, fired Ward Manuel, Sharon
Fire
Moore
everybody.
is gonna get another year.
He will.
Just fire everybody. Here's the man. That game could have been a lot worse. If it wasn't for that legal man down the field. We're talking about like
52.
I would have gotten the score right.
What did you predict? I don't remember.
I predicted 45-15.
Shoot, I predicted 30. I predicted 45-17. It was 38-17.
Dude, if that touchdown call from the illegal man down the field,
when it would have.
They would, but the catch by Evan Stewart, that one-handed by Evan Stewart,
that was a touchdown.
So, yeah,
I would have nailed the score perfectly.
Yeah, I really love the exclamation point at the end by Dan Lanning.
Tell me about it.
It was kind of like watching a cat play with its food. Like, oh, you're dead. Nope, just kidding. Oh, you're dead. No, just kidding. Okay, you're dead. Like,
wow. Do you think that will cost Dan Lanning in a future game or not at all?
No,
versus
Michigan. They have way too much. They have some special going on at Oregon.
Yeah. I'm not saying in 2024, bro. I'm saying 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, some year.
I get that. Man, I think Michigan is going back to the dark ages for a bit, because if this is a rebuilding year where you have 4 first-rounders on defense, you have a first-round tight end on offense, Donovan Edwards, he'll get drafted. He's too talented not to. He's just not an every down back. If this is a rebuilding year and you're going to lose all that to the NFL once again, I looked at that roster. I don't even know the guys in the waiting. I just don't. So if this is a rebuilding year, I can't even imagine what next year's gonna look like. Also, they're putting all their chips on the table for Bryce Underwood. And I hate to say it, but, Bryce Underwood's not coming. And what's laughable is that what's laughable is that they were pretty much having a field day with Ohio State, calling them mercenary U, saying they just throw the bags at players. They don't have a winning culture.
They don't understand what college football is.
They they don't have players who actually want to come play for Ohio State. They're just coming for the money. So what is Michigan doing? They're bragging about upping their NIL. They're bragging about throwing the bag at players who have a first choice. So they clearly don't want to come to Michigan to play for Michigan. They're coming them because Michigan just so happens to be the highest bidder. Now, will
Yeah.
Bryce Underwood buy into that? No, he won't. I don't think he will.
Okay.
He sees that Jaden Daniels won a Heisman under Brian Kelly. He sees what Jaden Daniels is doing in the pros. The Commanders are at the top of their division at 7-2.
My squad.
He sees that Brian Kelly builds the offense around the quarterback and not just being a complement to the run game. So I think it's laughable. The tables have turned. Ohio State is high in NIL. Ohio State still has a winning culture. They proved it in Happy Valley in a pivotal game that could have ended their Big Ten championship hopes, possibly the playoff hopes, and just every goal possible. So I just think it's laughable that it seems like the tables have turned, bragging about NIL and everything.
You're right. You're right. On that point, I think there's some wisdom in you holding back with the Michigan prediction. I think that's a wise thing. I don't care. I hate them. And it's personal for me for many reasons why I despise them. Sports hate, not real hate. Sports hate. But it is personal for real life why I despise them, yes. So I will talk as much smack as I want. I will continue to talk smack. I will not hold my tongue. There's not wisdom in that. I do understand that. If Ohio State loses, it's good for the channel because I talk smack. If Ohio State wins, it's good for the channel because I talk smack.
Yeah, it is good for the channel. Another thing I want to point out about the Michigan-Oregon game, this is one channel. I don't know the name of the channel, but they're always on the sideline after the game, giving their analysis after the game. But the headline said, "Shorthanded defense loses to Oregon."
Yeah, and Will Johnson.
I feel like this is. A political candidate says something extremely outlandish, and so you have the campaign team trying to do as much damage control and trying to spin the narrative, doing false headlines, just blatantly lying for what
Michigan
it is.
Michigan Insider.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah, their headline
Sam
was
Webb.
Shorthanded defense. Loses to Oregon. They would have lost to Oregon regardless. I don't want to hear anything. The coaching sucks. I can't say that the players aren't talented because they have one of the best defensive lines in college football.
Mason Graham gave Dylan Gabriel a heck of a shot to the chest at the end of the game, and then he graciously helped him back up. I was really impressed with that. I'll give Mason Graham credit.
He may have been like, I got my shot in you, but you got the bigger shot. We're down big time.
Respect. Yeah, we're smacking getting talked down 38-17, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's just reality. So just concluding my time in Michigan Stadium, I went down to the third row. I partied with some Duck fans. I revealed my Ohio State jersey to them. They did not like that either. So I left the stadium. I left the stadium because Oregon Duck fans were really nice to me, but they're like, "Get out of here," in a fun way, not in like a jerk way,
So give me a run. I know you gave me a rundown the last 8 minutes of the game, the atmosphere.
Oh golly!
But what was it? What was it like by halftime? What was the chatter?
Apathetic. It was quiet, bro. It was apathetic. They were resigned to their fate. It was 28-10, bro. Game was over. They knew it with their offense. So it was very quiet. Now, when the Colson Loveland thing happened, I felt a little unsafe. Thank goodness it was already quiet or cold. The sun was down, so I put my jersey covered up at that point in my hoodie, so nobody could tell I was an Ohio State fan anymore. And I went to a different section because the guy growled at me. The guy next to me stopped talking to me altogether.
Oh man.
And I left the section.
And that was the lighthearted Michigan fan that
Now I found a kind soul in the stadium who I sat next to, an old man who I knew wasn't going to be vitriolic or drunk, by the way. An Oregon fan from Canada. They drove from Toronto, a group of Oregon fans. I don't know why they're Oregon fans from Toronto. Why? I don't know, but okay. Toronto's pretty far, but hey, I'm an Ann Arborite that is a Buckeyes, so I have no room to judge. So, in that manner, they were super nice. They took the photo of me at Michigan State with my hands up in my Buckeye jersey. And they took that photo over Ann Arbor for me, and that was really cool at Michigan Stadium. And they were nice, but we talked about maple syrup, and because my ex-girlfriend from Canada literally ran a pancake house and maple syrup company. Not playing. Could not get more Canadian. Now, moving back to Oregon, the atmosphere in the stadium was insane, bro. It emptied out. I waited for it to empty out, and then I went to the third row. So there were about 3 to 5 minutes left when I got to the third row.
Yeah.
Because it takes a while to get down there, bro. Not because I'm out of shape. Like, it's easy to walk stairs. Like, I'm a landscaper. Like, I'm overweight, yes, but I'm not out of shape breath-wise, lung-wise, I walk 27,000 steps every day. So, Michigan Stadium, angry. It went quiet at half, angry after the Loveland, quiet again for the fourth quarter, and then they left. Everybody left. You know what I thought? Half the stadium that was left exited at the end of the third quarter after the Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, I mean, dang. That's like
No.
that's like a really big fall from winning a national championship.
4 losses.
Let's be honest, it's about to be 5. Kirk Cignetti's coming. There's nothing you can do to stop that Indiana train from chugging down the tracks, going full speed and just smacking you.
Yeah. Cignetti's going to drop a lot of points on the Michigan defense, especially if Will Johnson doesn't play again. So that's my Oregon-Michigan story. I made it out safely because I'm 6'5", 280. Drop some weight, but still some weight to drop.
I forgot to give the mood, the demeanor of Penn State
Ooh,
fans.
Yeah.
Dude, the mood and demeanor after James Franklin ran up the middle 3 times, failed, and then had them throw a predictable 4th down. It's just like all the wind got sucked out of the stadium, and when it was clear that Ohio State was going to run the clock out, like I saw fans, who are at the bottom, by the sideline of Ohio State. They started leaving when there was like 5 minutes left in the game or so, because there was we haven't done anything. They just stuffed us at the goal line. They did a goal line stance. So it just got so quiet and fans started leaving. I started to rush down to try to get over for when the players come over. I made it like a little in time, but I didn't get there, in time. So, but
okay.
I felt bad for this one man. He was sitting there with this like this, and it was just I felt for him because he's probably been waiting for he's looks like a lifelong Penn State fan who's just been waiting for his team to, finally get over that hump, and it didn't happen. So I did feel for him.
Yeah, there's a human element. There always is. There were Michigan fans like that too, but the ones I was sitting next to stopped talking to me and growled, and I didn't interact with them hardly at all throughout the game, and so that made me very disappointed. But I found a nice Michigan fan, like I said. So,
But you at the beginning, it didn't look like there was a lot of Ohio State fans, but when they all came crowding by the lower end zone, it just it
heck
was
yeah,
apparent that, and we stayed about half hour after the game.
really?
Yeah, dude, we were running deep in the
That's
the end zone. I mean, we didn't go on the field, but
So
down
that
by
video that I sent, I posted on Instagram of them partying in the stands. Ennis, Mecca, Caleb Downs, other players were in the stands. That was near you or not near you?
that was near me. That was actually the end zone.
That's what you were talking
We
about.
we were yeah, that's where we were uh at the
That's sick,
beginning of the
bro.
game, but that was our section that we were in.
Now,
We were
most of the plays though happen on the other side of the field, right?
Yeah, most of them did. That crossing route to Ennis was in our end zone. So that
But
was nice to see. The fumble by Howard was in our end zone. That was not that was not nice to see. The pick six was in our end zone by Will Howard. That was not nice to see at all. Like,
my gosh, different end zone next time, maybe.
I don't know, man. It is what it is, dude. Still great seats, great atmosphere. A top four matchup. It can't get any better than that.
Yeah. One last thing about my game that I wanted to mention, and you did a great job recapping how exciting the atmosphere was in Beaver Stadium, especially for us Buckeyes. Since I wasn't there, obviously I wanted to go. I was thinking about hopping a ride with you or something, but I ended up going to the Oregon Michigan game instead. And Oregon Michigan, they did backflips at the 50-yard line. Oregon players,
Oh wow.
a lot of backflips. I cannot believe they didn't bring out the O flag though.
I wish
And
they would have, man.
like they're Oregon, come on now. Maybe their fans are worse than the players. Maybe Dan Lanning's a good guy. I don't know. All I know is this: Ryan Day versus Dan Lanning 2.0. Whenever that happens, is going to be electric. If it's in Indy, if it's in the playoffs, if it's in 2025 or 2026, whenever it happens, it's going to be sick.
I'm taking my shot like I did. It's gonna be an Indy. It's gonna be an Indy, no doubt.
Okay. I don't have anything else to add. I had a couple more things, maybe a stat or two, but that's not important anymore. So, yeah, man. Are you satisfied? Do you want to take playoffs, or do you want to talk Clemson losing? Do you want to take Pitt losing? Do you want to talk Iowa State losing? All those
Nah,
teams were undefeated. They no longer are.
nah, man. I think we save those for Thursday.
I think so. All right, man. Have a good night. Go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one.
OH.
IO.